We're back.
Beautiful. The stream is already set up.
We are 17 drivers for the first race.
Yeah, that's okay. Welcome back, guys, to Scientist Reverse Grid Tier 2. Tonight, we have a special guest who's joining in the commentary booth, Mr. John Banta. Good evening.
You are too kind. You're too kind. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure.
Look.
It's my pleasure. And tonight, very nasty track ahead of us in Hanoi, Vietnam, where no Formula 1 car has raced yet today in real life. And as we all know, this track is kind of, let's call it politically correct, special.
What makes it special, though, I think, well, evidently, the most special part about it is it's never been used. It's a complete unknown quantity. 23 turns, a couple of very long straight, over a kilometre long. Plenty of overtaking opportunity, but plenty of places for front wings to go awry.
Yeah, it is a street circuit with only walls to escape, and therefore we expect maybe, what will you say, John? One safety car, maybe two?
I would say at least one safety car, possibly after turn 3, turn 4. It depends how cleanly they all get away through. Being on pole here is prime. Little Jim has got a great chance today. In fact, we've got an all Haas front row, I believe.
Yeah, we got with Little Jim and Spaceman in P1 and P2. It's very important to leave the pack after the long straight, I think. It's the most important part, because you have to go through the S's and maybe make up some time to get over the DRS. Because the straights are very, very powerful around here, especially with DRS.
Yeah, indeed. Just having a look at who's gone on what tyre. It's interesting to see, of the top 10, 7 of them are starting on the medium tyre. So they're
that's
going
interesting.
for a longer first stint, which is interesting considering the chance of a safety car in this race is very high.
That's correct. And if there's no safety car, there will be wing damage. And
exactly.
The question will be, if you crash on mediums, or not crash, but maybe hit your wing, lose some parts of your wing, and you're on the mediums, are you willing to lose the time on the mediums to then switch to the soft and make all the time back again? But here's also the question, are you going around the track on the soft in the second stint without hitting the wall? Because normally, you get used to the track a bit, but a single small mistake can end your fucking race here.
Yeah, the race is going to be won and lost by sheer ability to miss the walls, keep away from the walls. You've got to keep away from those walls. This is one of the tightest street tracks. It's a very high speed type street track as it is. It's going to be very interesting. I'm interested to see what the likes of Voltex and Golden Picker, what they can do from Road 2.
Yeah.
You've also got Desert Rat down there in P7. Interestingly as well, PR Oliver is starting on the hard tyres, so maybe he's seeing something that we're not.
Oh, maybe there is some rain coming at the end of the race. That could be a reason for starting on the hards and maybe just chilling a bit for the first 1 or 2 laps. Just save your wing, protect it, and then just go after these guys to collect some with pit stops making and maybe a safety car, and just going step by step forward, and maybe just waiting for the rain to switch to the inters at the end. But before the rain is coming, we have our starting lights. 4, 5 red lights are going out, and the race is almost on the way. And it is on the way
There we
with
go.
Lil Jim and Spaceman in P1 and 2 at the start. They win the start for the beginning, but there are already some... Oh, Golden Pickle spins.
gonna
Golden
spin out,
Pickle
we're gonna spin
already
out.
spun.
Start for the Ferrari, Golden Pickle, down
Yeah.
to P15.
And
Has he
Mini
got wing
Daniel
damage?
also. Mini Daniel also spun it in the first corner. Lost parts of his wing. But it doesn't seem like we have... Oh, there's the virtual safety car.
Got a virtual safety
Yeah,
car.
we had yellow flags, but no safety car yet. So we have a virtual safety car right now. And what's very interesting is that both Haas and Boltex King, they protected their position. They're still in P1, P2, and P3. And Desert Red climbed up 3 places, and Casto 4, like Angry Orange also 4. So the Red Bulls are on the run here. They want to have more than just some points. They want to get the big points.
So we've got XD Little Jim and X17 Spaceman, so we'll call them Little Jim and Spaceman, the 2 Haas drivers P1 and P2, and Boltex King P3, all held on to their positions at the start of this race.
Yeah.
It's their first run down to the very tight, twisty sector 3.
And it seems like... Yeah, it seems like the... Sorry for interrupting you, but it seems like the virtual safety car has already ended, and we're up to pace again.
Yeah, we're back up to full pace.
Yeah.
This is the part of the track that we were talking about. This is where you've got to keep that wing intact. You can lose 2-3 seconds a lap just in that final sector by taking off any parts of your wing. It's very tricky.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Angry Orange already lost 2 places against Would You Rather now in P7 and Ticunia now in P8. So I don't know if there's a problem with this car. It seems like the wing is okay for now, but maybe it's because of the tire selection. Well, Would You Rather also on the mediums, but Ticunia on the soft. Maybe made a little mistake through the S's and just lost momentum there. But we have still... Yeah,
we've got a couple of pitters. I just want to mention there. PR Oliver, who interestingly started on the hards, is already in the pit lane. Whether that is wing damage, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, he's having his wing repaired, so he's got wing damage. He's taking off the hards and going straight into the mediums.
Yeah, he got wing damage. I'm right in his pits now, and the wing has been changed. So the tricky thing here is I thought he would pit under the virtual safety car, but he has no...
We've got Boltex King challenging for second position. He's going to the inside of Spaceman. They are running side by side, going into the tight chicane at the end. Who's going to come out of this one first? Spaceman runs wide. Boltex has got the inside line. Boltex, has he made it stiff?
Yeah, it's very clean and fair, still side by side.
Yeah.
They didn't touch. Now they touched a bit
Yeah.
with the side pot of Boltex King, but all in all, a very clean, a very fair overtake. Boltex King didn't take any prisoners here, but Spaceman now a bit offline, lost his momentum here because Desert Red is right behind him, just half a second. Castle France also there, so we have a beautiful 3-way battle here for P3 for the podium positions, as Golden Pickle is also going into the pits. He may have wing damage from that incident at turn 1 when he lost control of his car. Maybe it was due to contact. Maybe he lost it on his own over the curb. We will see that in the incident report, as Castor goes on the inside on Desert Red and makes the move stick. Very aggressive move, but for me it seemed like it was clean. He caught Desert Red a bit napping here, and a beautiful overtake by him. And we already have DRS into play here, as Lil Jim has a beautiful gap open to Boltex King, about 7 seconds. And Boltex King is also safe from the DRS from Spaceman.
Little Jim is just pulling away from the field. He's over, like you say, over 7 seconds clear of Boltex King. Boltex King making his way down the what we like to call the main straight. It isn't a straight because I know it's a bit of a curve.
But it is the main straight. Yeah.
Right, but it is the main straight. I mean, you must be full throttle for in excess of 25 seconds.
Oh, and we have still John. We have still the beautiful battle between Castor and Desert. Desert Red almost overtook Castor there on the outside of the hairpin, but Castor defended that very, very well. Also aggressive, but as long as it is within the rule set and within the rules we have in our league to just race clean and fair, but also hard, he he really managed to do that here and defended his position P4 against Deseret. As Boltex King overtook Little Jim. What happened there? Little Jim has wing damage.
Little Jim's got wing damage. Little Jim's lost it. He had a, what, it was a 7.5 second lead last time we were with him, but now Boltex King's taking the lead. This is getting interesting. And if you look as well, there is less than 5 seconds separating the top 9 drivers.
Yeah, and now we have 3 guys into the pits. Would you rather Basketball Boy and D Bizzle? And Would You Rather wasn't in a good position. I think he was in P7. He overtook Angry Orange and was in front of D'Cunha, but now he went to the pits, maybe to just do an undercut. Wing damage? No undercut?
Yep, no wing damage. All 3 that we have just mentioned have gone in and had their wings changed, so they've all had wing damage, whether that was caused through battles or whether they've hit the wings themselves. But Boltex King currently holds a 1.2 second lead over Little Jim, who must be absolutely gutted at this point.
Yeah, and he must be very desperate because he has got his teammate right behind him on the mediums, and with DRS he hasn't got DRS.
Spaceman's gone too far.
Oh no, he binned it
and has binned it into the wall. And he's down to P6. D'Cunha's I tell you what, D'Cunha's one to watch. You know, he was creeping his way up through the field.
He's already in P5. Castor and D'Cunha on a run.
Yeah. Castor up 6 places up to P3, D'Cunha up 5 places up to P5. A couple of big winners in the early exchanges, and as we discussed, well, if you look at D'Cunha, one thing I noticed about D'Cunha, he is on the soft tyres, so he's making them work.
Lil Jim is now into the pits to change his wing, and Spaceman also has to pit, but it seems like he stays on track. Maybe to just avoid the double stack in the Haas garage as his teammate also changes his wing, and you lose a lot of time if the pit crew is not ready for you. So he decides to stay on track, maybe lose 1 or 2, maybe 3 seconds on track just to get his wing changed on the next lap.
Spaceman is struggling. Spaceman has lost a lot of his front left of his wing.
Yeah, and you feel it especially in the S's and the short corners where you're going in very fast, have to break down and need the traction on the exit. As Castor France is just 0.7 of a second behind Raisin, who also jumped 4 places up into P2 and is now under attack by Castor.
We've got the Red Bulls attacking because the Red Bull of Angry Orange, he is right behind Spaceman. Spaceman's wing is not doing him any favours. He's defending hard, but he's already been passed halfway down the straight.
Yeah, a beautiful overtake by Angry Orange just to make sure that the pace on the straight and the entry to the corner is his, and makes it stick P5 for Angry Orange. So with our leaders of the race, let's call it like that, with Boltex King, Raisin, Castor, D'Cunha and Angry Orange, they all made up a huge amount of places. Boltex King only 2 because he started in P3, but Raisin 4 places. Castor, D'Cunha and Angry Orange all gained 6 places from their starting positions. And it's very nice to see Hill Train in P8, who's normally a bit struggling with the pace, but he climbed up 5 positions. A very, very good race by him. As we have Spaceman into the pits now, and Hill Train also into the pits. Let's see if he also got wing damage. I just complimented him. Maybe he's on the strategy. He's on the mediums on lap 6. That's a bit too early. He might have front wing damage. Wayne is on board now, and the wing.
Challenge for the lead.
The wing is changed. I saw some end plates flying, and you say we have a change for the lead, and we have. Raisin overtook Boltex King.
Yeah, Raisin overtook Boltex King, but one thing I will note, Raisin, we're calling him Raisin today, we'll call him Raisin. Raisin in the Mercedes is on the soft compound tyres, so he's yet to run the mediums, whereas Boltex, he will go longer into the race before he makes his first stop.
Yeah, and Raisin has no ERS left and no DRS, but he still manages to defend his P1 here, but for him it's critical to move into P1 on the softer compound, as you said, and Boltex King can relax just a little bit because he knows he's now on the mediums, and he will be up front there on the soft after his pit stop and has the fresher tyre and can attack for the last laps. So John,
the top 10,
yeah.
The top 10, should we run through the top 10 at the moment? We've got Raisin, P1,
beautiful, give it a go.
Soft compound tyres. We've got Vortex P2 on the medium compound tyres, but still looks to have all his wing intact, despite all the exchanges in the early stages. Casto in P3. D'Acunha pulls into the pits in P4. He's on the soft, so he's gone for the undercut. He's got to be going for the undercut there. We've got Angry Orange in P5, moving up to P4 now, overtaking D'Acunha's in the pits. Got Jimranium in P6. Little Jim, who was in the lead for the first few laps, in P7. Golden Pickle in P8, Desert Rat P9, and the other Haas of Spaceman in P10.
Yeah, and D'Acunha, as he leaves the pit lane now, is in P7, but gets collected by Golden Pickle there, who already pit, and he's now on the exit. It's very critical for him to stay in P8 in front of Spaceman to have a reference point where he is on track after his pit stop, and he stays in front of Spaceman, and has a lead of about 5 seconds and is now 2 seconds behind Golden Pickle, so there's some fresh air to just get the car rolling.
So we have everybody has stopped up to the top 5, so the top 5 currently haven't made their mandatory pit stop during this race. Everybody else below that, from P6 down, from Little Jim down, they've all stopped. And
I have big news for you, John. Spaceman already managed to damage his wing again. He lost places against Would You Rather, and D-Bizzle is now on P11. Got his wing damaged, still struggling on track as he hit the wall through a cheeky little chicane and that long left-hander onto the pit straight, as Raisin is now coming in from P1, as does Casto, and Boltex King on the mediums can manage to stay one lap long on these mediums, has fresh air now, can put in a fast in lap until he comes into the pits, because I think he will come in on lap 8 now.
The Red Bulls have double stacked, I believe. The Red Bulls have double stacked,
yeah.
Have they? No, they have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't. Angry Orange.
Yeah,
Angry Orange also stayed out, so we have Lil Jim now in P4. He managed to recover by staying out on track and just put in some good laps. And Golden Pickle already up to P5 again. But he's on the soft compound of tire. If he wants to finish on this compound, he has to be very, very, very protective to his tires, as Casto comes out of the pits right behind Golden Pickle, just half a second off, got the DRS already.
Much fresher tires. This should be easy pickings, maybe down the next straight that's not a straight.
Yeah, he's very, very patient here on the same compound of tires, but Casto is patient enough to just set the overtake up here on the main straight. He's just 0.3 of a second behind Golden Pickle, attacking him now. And it's very, very interesting. Oh, we got a spin. I saw a spin.
No,
it's a Williams. Yeah, it's a Williams. I think Mini Daniel has spun. And we're changing now our view onto Boltex King, the leader of the race, who's coming into the pits right now. Angry Orange 9 seconds behind him, probably also going to pit now, because the pit crew is free now. Yeah, he's coming in, so it's very, very interesting to see where Boltex King comes out, as Raisin is now in the last corner. He's in the last corner now. Yeah, he's on the pit straight now. He takes the lead from Boltex King, who made his pit stop, is now coming out of the pits. And it's very interesting to see who's in front of Boltex King after he comes out, and how many cars he has to overtake, as Casto and Lil Jim are also going to overtake him. But Boltex King managed on the exit to just come out right behind Lil Jim, just 0.3 of a second behind Lil Jim. He has to make quick progress here because he has 6 seconds to Raisin. He has to overtake him, and Lil Jim playing the tactical game here. He lets Boltex King through just to have the DRS on the main straight, try to get in here, but Boltex King has much better traction on these fresh soft compound tires. He needs all of his ERS and defending skills to just let the Jim stay behind him, but it's very, very, very tricky.
It's only within 3 attempts. It's DRS going to help Willie make a move up the inside, run into the corner.
Oh, Boltex King managed to stay in front.
Yeah.
That's crucial. That's absolutely crucial.
you'd expect to see Vortex King now start to pull away from Little Jim with the
Yeah.
soft compound tyre, the softer tyres on, fresher tyres. The question now is, can Vortex King on the fresh softs catch up Raisin, who is 6 seconds clear, but he's running the mediums and he's been on them for a few laps.
Yeah. And as you mentioned before, D'Cunha, who's climbing up the rankings slowly but steadily, he's now in P7, just 1.6 seconds behind Angry Orange, and Would You Rather just 0.6 of a second behind him. So they both could be on a march here, but D'Cunha is in P7 on the mediums as we have a full car safety car, as Pro Oliver lost it and DNF'd. A full car safety car.
Wow.
Yeah, and D'Cunha, Would You Rather just went by the pit lane, so they haven't had a chance to go into the pits. But it seems like Jimranium, who's on the soft, he also didn't pit. Let's see who's pitting under the safety car. Right now, it seems like nobody's pitting.
I mean, you look at those that are already on the softs, track position. I'd have expected maybe Golden Pickle to go in. He's already raced 7 laps on the soft. He can't have much left in his tyres. Who else are you looking at?
Hilltrain.
Hilltrain
is pitting.
Well. Hilltrain's pitting, yeah.
I think a lot of guys have wing damage, and although you're on the soft tyres, and even if they're fresh, if you have wing damage, you have to pit. Because I think under the safety car, everybody's going to pit. You have to pit, especially around a track like Vietnam. If you're just 1 lap longer on fresh tyres with a clean wing, you gain about 3 seconds per lap.
Incredible.
My personal opinion is you have to pit.
On this track, isn't it?
You have to pit, and Raisin is 8 seconds in front of Boltex King, so I think he has to pit. He has no other chance, but he doesn't pit. He doesn't go into the pits.
Raisin's only been on these mediums for 2 laps, but Vortex King on a brand new set of soft tyres. Yeah. He's favourite now. He's got to be favourite now.
He is. Especially because that 6 or 7 second gap is now melted down to just a few tenths of a second.
Casto's into the pits.
Okay, that's interesting. He's going forward.
Wing damage.
Golden Pickle also in the pits as D'Cunha. And Would You Rather?
It's like they're listening to it, yeah. Angry Orange is going to jump up a lot of places now because he's stayed out, so he'll jump up to P4.
They also have the luxury of not losing too many places because Jimranium is about 11 seconds behind this group of people, and he's also coming in. So he's also making the same decision. That means for the boys who pitted, they don't lose a place.
No.
Just to Angry Orange, they lost 1 place, but they have fresh tires, a fresh wing, and Angry Orange has the luxury of having a clean wing still. Let's see how the wings are looking. So Raisin has a clean wing. Boltex King also has a clean wing. What about Lil Jim? He has a clean wing. Angry Orange, all the boys who came out of the pits also have a fresh, clean wing. And Spaceman, I think Spaceman also pit. He's on the soft now. He has a fresh wing, and the last time we checked on him, he hadn't had a fresh wing, so he pitted. And he can make up some places here just to get into the points. But let's see how this plays out. We're on lap 11 of 14, and with a little bit of luck, the safety car comes in this lap, and then we have 3 laps of action in front of us.
We have the full straight that's not a straight between sort of P14, P15 trying to catch up with the leaders there. The leaders are about to go through into the final sector. I'm not sure whether the safety car's coming in this lap or the safety car lights are still on, so I think it may stay out for 1 more lap, which means we're going to end up with a 2-lap sprint at the end of this. My money's on Boltex King. Boltex King on fresh softs behind Raisin. It can raise and keep him behind. There'll be no DRS for the first 2. There might not be any more DRS throughout the remainder of this race, depending on when the safety car comes in.
Well, I'm not making many fans here, but I say whoever has the strongest nerves wins this race. So on paper, you're absolutely right. The money has to be on Boltex King. Fresh wing, fresh tires, softer tires. So nobody would say he has to get it because he just gets it, and he has a good pace. But is he patient enough? Because we won't have DRS. Because of the safety car, you have to go 3 laps until DRS is enabled. And right now, we won't have DRS at the end of the race. So it all comes down to manage your ERS on these 2 laps and to manage also your wing. You have to protect your wing. You have to be patient, but you have to be a killer.
Protecting that wing is paramount. It's almost as important as having the fresher tyres.
Yeah,
It
absolutely
really is.
correct.
Interestingly, Diesel Hype did not pit, stayed out on the soft tyres he's on, which are now 7 laps old, so you fear that might not be the best decision for him.
Yeah, let's see about that. You mean D-Bizzle and P9, right?
Yeah, Diesel, he moved up to P9 by
Oh!
not pitting.
Wait, what is wrong? I saw Williams just into the wall. Mini Daniel in P16.
Daniel's lost the front right of his wing.
Yeah, but I'm a bit confused here. He's in P16, but he's right in the middle of them. Do you see that?
Everyone from P14 down has been lapped. Basketball Boy is 1 full lap behind, as is Duradan, and Mini Daniel. They are all 1 lap down. Yeah, so they've ended up being lapped by the leaders and ended up in the middle of the field.
Okay, thanks for that information. I didn't get that, so then it's explainable how he's in there in the pack. Well, let's see if the safety car comes in. There's already a big gap, so yeah, there is a big gap to the safety car right now from Raisin, so the safety car comes in this lap. So it all comes down to these last 2 laps. Just a sprint race to the finish line, as we have Raisin in P1 trying to defend his position on the medium tires, as Bulltex King is in P2 on the softs. And we don't have to, we mustn't forget about about Lil Jim, as Raisin is up to pace again. Bulltex King right behind him. We're up to pace, penultimate lap now, a penultimate corner, now the last corner onto the pit straight. And Bulltex King is about 8/10 of a second behind, so a very good restart by Raisin. But let's see if there are any moves or contact in the midfield. And let's see who gains places, as Raisin is still in P1. John, can you tell me something about the midfield?
So Golden Pickle is right on the tail of Angry Orange. Angry Orange goes deep into the corner. Golden Pickle almost goes into the back of him, but they both make it through turn 3. Running down the straight, Golden Pickle is right behind. They've got a lap car in the middle of them, which is of course ghosting, so it shouldn't affect them too much, but just having that in your view might be a bit difficult. There's very little to separate. Angry Orange in 4th, Golden Pickle P5, and Casto P6. They are all very, very close to each other. Running down the main straight just now. I don't know whether you can tell me anything about what's happening up top.
We have still the same constellation here. Raisin on the main straight now in P1. Bulltex King still in P2. The Jim in P3.
Contact. I'm just going to interrupt you there. Contact between Angry Orange and Golden Pickle, but they are still running side by side down the main straight. The Golden Pickle runs up the inside of Angry Orange, takes the position. Angry Orange comes back. Angry Orange has come back through. And Castle Francis right behind. This is great stuff.
And on the inside, they touch.
They touch, and that's Angry Orange front wing damage, surely.
And Castle moving up in position, overtaking his teammate. Let's see what Angry Orange's car is up to. As you said,
Angry Orange is dropping back a bit. Yeah, I think he's got front wing damage. He's already dropped over a second and a half.
He hasn't. He hasn't. His wing. Some parts of his end plate that could be realistic, but right now it seems like that his wing is okay. But we all know that if you just got tiny damage to your wing, especially on a track like this, it could be very critical. As Raisin is still in P1 and his gap already expanded to 1.4 seconds. And John, I've just noticed we don't have much penalties on track.
That's one thing I was about to mention before. We only have 2 penalties that I can see so far. It seems to be very clean today.
Yeah.
Very clean, but obviously the laps under the safety car, that'll help a little bit with less laps to obviously have any corner cutting. I'm just watching on board with Casto France now, was about to get the run of Golden Pickle, but he's too far back. We are on the last lap. There is no DRS, of course, down the straight. It is not straight.
And would you rather collected Angry Orange in the progress? He's up to P6.
Yeah.
And D'Cunha right behind Angry Orange. Let's see if anything changes here. And Golden Pickle is getting closer to Little Jim, just six tenths of a second. But
Little Jim's had a great comeback race after leading by 7.5 seconds, I think he said he was. Obviously, it's an accident we didn't quite catch, dropped him down the order, but he pitted, changed his ring, came back out, and he's on the podium as things stand with only 4 more corners to go.
yeah, and Little Jim is attacked by Golden Pickle now, just 0.3 of a second. Maybe Golden Pickle is going for the dive here on the last corner, but it doesn't seem to be good enough. No, it isn't. Raisin wins the race in Vietnam in Tier 2. Baltic Skin coming home in P2. Lil Jim P3. Golden Pickle in P4. A beautiful recovery by him after his accident at the beginning of the race. Castor France gaining 4 places from the start, finishing in P5. Would You Rather P6. Dicunha climbing up from P10 to P7. Angry Orange also in the points, but got collected by Dicunha on the last lap down to P8. Germanium P9. Dibizzle collected the last point for AlphaTauri here in P10. Spaceman, I have to say, the kind of the big loser of the race, lost 9 places from pole, not from P2, not from pole position, from P2, just coming home in P11. Deseret in P12 also lost 5 places. Hill Train coming home in P13 as Doradon in P14. Basketball Boy and Mini Daniel finishing up the order in P15, P16. What a race, John! What a race!
I've got to say, I quite enjoyed that. For a race around Vietnam, I'm impressed how, well, for a start, there was very few penalties. They were very clean, so well played to them. Driver of the day there is Raisin, and how can we deny him the driver of the day for a superb race? I thought he might get caught at the end after the safety car by not pitting and staying out on the mediums, but it wasn't to be. It was his race, and he won it.
Yeah, a beautiful win by him. Beautiful celebration. Boys, please think of COVID-19. Leave some space. Thank you for that. But otherwise, a beautiful race. As you've said, only a few penalties. That's always nice to see. Just a small amount of incidents. Just at the start, really, the incident. Otherwise, it's been a very, very clean race. And John, I think you will go now down to the lobby. Just check the grid, talk to the boys. And we're back with our stream in about 5 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. I will set up the stream for the second race in a few minutes. See you, boys.
Beautiful.